Stupid. I was talking to Mike last time. I was like, hey man, how come we didn't boom at the start of the last episode? And he's all like, I missed it.
I was trying out Geese.
Hey, have you ever noticed that when you say stuff like that, you always say "I was like" twice? Have you ever noticed that?
I was like,
no, you go. I was like, and like the second one, you stuff it in there. You stuff in the second "I was like." You always do that. It's a double.
Does.
What? How come no one else has ever pointed this out to me?
And he speaks so fast.
You do say it fast.
That's true.
Well, most people can't hear it, but I have a finely tuned ear, and I can.
You know when Rip is super excited, so he speaks like incredibly fast, and you can't understand a goddamn thing he's saying.
Yeah, he does.
Stuffs words in. You know.
That was one of the
that's what I was just. I'm like, oh god, slow the fuck down.
Sure.
Dude, when he was commentating MLG, it was like one of his notes was, "I need to start speaking a lot slower."
That's always my note.
Exposing all his shit now.
I want to hear deep voice Rip do the fast.
Oh my god.
I don't know what the fuck happened at the start of that thing, dude. Yeah, it was so funny because I called Aris first, and Aris like, "Who is this?" So I was like,
"Yeah, dude." I was like, "Who is this?" And he's like, he didn't say. He was messing around. I couldn't recognize him.
It was like a Deep Throat in Metal Gear.
Yeah, something like that.
I actually couldn't figure it out. Like, I thought that it was just totally fine, but then when MYK joined the call, I was like, "Hey, Mike, do I sound good?"
Hey, is this show on or what?
I think, is it on? Is it live?
It looks like it's on.
All right. Give it a
It says
sec.
starting soon.
Is it just, it says starting soon, right? All right, we're about to
How
start.
soon?
It's starting real soon, I promise. I actually just needed to do something really fast. It's going to start in like 5 seconds, maybe.
5 seconds.
Just give it, maybe 5 or 10 seconds. It's warming up. The internet had to warm up real fast.
Carbureted? Dang.
Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. Incoming. In 3, 2, 1. Fading out the music. Oh, that was louder.
There was music?
What are you doing?
I did it.
I can't hear the music.
I know. That's what it always was like when I was doing podcasts with you. Only you could hear the music. Yeah, welcome.
What music did you pick?
It was Soulcalibur 2 Eternal Struggle, the Cervantes theme.
All right.
There we go. Welcome, everybody. This is BOOMcast number 9, I believe. I'm joined by Aris, special guest today. And, of course, we got Sajam over there and Mr. MYK down below. Ricksta was planned to be on the podcast, but I guess he texted me like 30 minutes ago saying that he was calling in sick. He just got tired or something.
Good riddance.
That's what I always say.
Yeah.
But Ricksta not gonna make it tonight, so whatever. We got plenty to talk about. A lot of stuff's been happening the last couple of weeks.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the last time we did a podcast was right when Geese came out.
I'm gonna host you. Keep talking.
All right, yeah. And so we definitely had the podcast, and Geese just came out, and we didn't really get to explore them a whole lot. So let's just start really briefly about Geese Howard. Mike, now that you've had a couple weeks with him, because I know you're trying to go through his move list right before the podcast started last time.
Yeah.
What do you think about him now?
I think he's okay. He's really punishable on a lot of things, but I feel like he's still gonna get away with a couple things for a little while, because it's like everyone's like, "Oh, Corsical back 2, that's like his juice, right? The Corsical back 2-3 mix up, 2-4 mix up." But it's just like we're starting to find the holes. The 2's the high, blah blah blah. But I feel like people are still barely getting used to that stuff, and then the parries and stuff. But we'll see how it goes. It's still really early.
Yeah.
I think mid parry is technically really broken. Plus 16 on a mid parry, and you get a freestanding 2 cancel into all that into wall splat or.
Does it also counter knees and elbows?
Yeah, jumping
everything.
Attacks every mid.
That
I
seems
feel like
a
that's
problem.
Broken. Yeah.
It seems like it's probably gonna be a problem.
But wait a minute. Look. The whiff, unlike other parries, the whiff on this parry is so long that you can see it whiff and be ready to punish it. No other parries are like that except for Oscar's, and hers is the long one. So that's like the downside of doing the long one, which most people think is cheap, right? The long one's cheap. But the downside of doing the long one is that it's visually punishable. So it's kind of like, personally, I think it's a huge risk. Such a huge risk that it's not such a hard read, right? Think about it.
It is definitely such a hard. First of all, I think there'll be most situations where it is a hard read, but I think there's also going to be situations where it's just guaranteed.
Bingo.
Some strings.
Yeah.
Bingo.
The strings are the broken part.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, that's the best part.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best part.
That's why I think he's going to be not like secret top tier, but I think that's one of the things that'll keep that character really viable.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, we'll see what happens with him as he gets fleshed out already. Tekken Tim won Wednesday Night Fights with him a week ago.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
awesome.
and then he got to top 3 this week. It was Tekken Tim, then me, then MYK.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then this week,
surprised.
this week he entered the entire tournament with Geese Howard, and he didn't bring out Steve Fox until he was down 0-2 against Way Gamble, I think.
And he lost?
That was when he lost. He got it. So he got it to, I think, losers final or something with Geese Howard. So he's been doing really well with that character. It's a very interesting character. But like you mentioned, 14 frame launcher, back 3-2 after the mid parry seems pretty good right now. We'll see if that gets to stay in long term. But let's jump over.
What was that? Did you know something?
No, I just don't. I'm curious if, because when game developers introduce new characters as DLC, they end up like putting them a little bit extra strong, like how Akuma came out in Tekken 7.
I don't think that's the case for Geese so far.
I don't either.
I definitely don't.
He's actually extra weak, but
you think so? I don't know.
Well, he's one of those characters that he's pretty weak, right? But there are some things there, like you said, that mid parry and other things like jumping over some mids, and he's got some stuff, right? If he sidewalks to your rear and he has one bar, he's gonna get like 100 damage.
Oh yeah.
So he's got stuff, right? It's not like he's trash, but it's almost like if he didn't have that stuff, then he totally would be trash. So I don't think it's as good as the way Akuma was at the start. Akuma at the start was crazy.
I would take the DP over the reversal anyway.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing. You got to remember the DP. He does not have any invincibility with his meter, unlike the other meter characters. So in a lot of ways, even though a lot of people group them together, he's actually very different than the other meter characters because of that. He has no DP, no invincibility at all.
Yeah, they all group him together because he's got the jump, basically, right? He's got the jump, he's got the projectiles, but... All right, enough about Geese. I mean, I think he's going to be a solid character still. We'll obviously need an entire new season to figure that out.
I think they're hinting at Tekken Cross Street Fighter still with all these jumping characters.
You were talking about that last night.
Yeah, I guarantee it, man. I guarantee it. This look at Tekken Revolution. It was pretty much a precursor to Tekken 7, right? We had the new Oki changes that were like Tekken 7, the new backwalk animation like Tekken 7. And now we're getting all these new testing stuff. And I feel like even Soulcalibur at one point with the supers and EX moves were once a Rage Drive and Rage Art the testing grounds for Tekken. It's like they even had the same supers at one point, like Josie, Devil Jin. I think it's all right there,
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it is what it is. I think that a lot of people hope Tekken Cross Street Fighter is still coming out, but they're keeping real hush over there. They got to finish this Tekken 7 game first. We still got that other guy coming, right? The guy with the MYK
Street Fighter 5 finally is coming out, though.
Imagine how good Ken's face is going to look in Tekken Cross Street Fighter. He's going to be handsome as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, that is the one strength that Tekken has had, right? Every character they've brought over has looked better. I was actually watching that shit you did, Sajam, the HyperX giving thing, which was really cool, by the way. Shout out to your Jenga commentary again with Tasty Steve. And if you guys haven't seen it, you guys should go check it out. That's honestly some of the funnest commentary I think you guys ever get to do. But in that event, you guys had, what the fuck was it? Noctis was in there in a trailer for Dissidia NT.
Yeah.
And I was looking at him and I'm thinking like, this guy looks better in Tekken. Like that's the only thought that came through my mind. I was like, man, Tekken is really good about this. Really good about this. But all right, before we get off topic too much, Tekken, let's stay on this topic, right? New patch just came out. It's version 1.10. And on the PlayStation 4, it's effectively reduced the input lag, now making it pretty comparable to the PC version. Have you tried it yet, Aris? You played it today, right?
I played the PC version. I didn't play the PS4 version, but...
Okay, hold on. So I heard the PC version got a patch as well.
That's what I heard, too.
But did you notice it at all?
I mean, it felt good, just like it always feels good to me.
Okay, so
I never really...
noticeably better.
I can't say it was, though my performance today was by far the best it's been in ever. I don't know if that's a coincidence, but I promoted 2 times today and I did really, really well, better than I ever have. Could be a coincidence, but I can't say that I was like, oh yeah, this is way better. I can't say that truthfully happened.
Yeah, you need display lag to do the testing if you don't know, right?
Right, exactly. So display lag did some testing.
I heard that the loading times are shorter too. Is that true?
There was something weird happening. So when you do the rematch in tournament at Wednesday Night Fights, I could have sworn it would reload the whole stage, even if you pick rematch, and you got to wait for that loading, and then it gets back into it. There were times last night where we were just talking, what the hell, did they already rematch? And it was really confusing. So
it's because the stage has a balcony break. If you don't break it, the reload is faster. But if you're downstairs, it takes longer to load the stage.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
sometimes a rematch will quickly load, but other times, if the previous match broke stages or walls, it'll take longer to reload.
Yeah, you got to give them time to build those
That's
walls.
why like
back.
Forgotten Realm takes forever.
Exactly, which
just
sucks.
like in practice
Yeah.
mode, right? Okay,
Yes,
I got you.
yes.
I got you. Okay, so that's probably not a patch, but I did play a lot of the PS4 version, and it is a noticeable improvement. If you've played the PC and the PS4 before, like now when you play them, it's like, oh shit, all right, this is like the PC version. Finally, now I can play this. So I played it a few hours yesterday. I loved it, just like Aris. Coincidentally, I happened to do super well, and I was like, this is pretty good. So yeah, I'm in love with it. I'm in love with it. The PS4 is usable again, or finally usable.
On this topic, I have been hearing from lots of different places that this shit was so fucking hard to implement into the game. And at first I was like, yeah, sure, that's what I would say too if I was Namco. Like, oh, this was so hard. But people are really like propping the Namcops, and they really have no business propping the Namcops for this. So it's like really, I'm starting to realize that even though maybe, I don't know, I'm really making this shit up. But to me, I feel like, you know, this is one of those cases where you have to kind of think that the money we spent on the season pass that was kind of trash with the bowling and shit, maybe that money is some of the money they use to warrant this type of heavy post-launch support. I don't know if I'm just using that to make myself feel better about the shitty bowling, but, you know, I mean, that could be true because I heard this was an extremely resource-intensive fix from a lot of people. And you know the Namcops, they're not really like into that kind of shit post-launch, but they did it, and it's not necessary. They could have let it rock forever, but they did it. So that's like huge thumbs up to those
huge
guys.
thumbs
Nice
up. I mean, just like a little old back story, I guess, on this patch and everything. Unreal Engine games are now basically what a bunch of the fighting games run on. But on the PlayStation 4 specifically, there's more input lag than it is on the other systems. So the Xbox One is actually okay, similar to the PC version. But on PS4, whatever reason, Unreal Engine had an issue with input lag, whatever. But for games that are already released, the developers have to go in and kind of rebuild the whole project. And when they do that, they're updating the engine, and the other things might pop up to fix, etc. So it's not just like a click this button and send it out there sort of fix. So shout outs to Harada and the Tekken Project team, because that shit came through and it's great. And now I'm sure, like, if anyone from Street Fighter side of the world or say the MK NRS side of the world want this same thing to happen, like there's gonna be more, like, I guess, push to those developers.
So today, actually, on the WSO thing, they said that Capcom is working on doing it for Street Fighter 5.
Wow.
So they said that they're working on it today.
Awesome.
Which I'm gonna attribute some of that to the Tekken team for announcing it at Tekken World Tour and saying we're working on it. So I'm gonna hope that that's also the reason that Capcom decided to do it. But I know that, like, for instance, like Guilty Gear is on Unreal. There's like a bunch of games, a bunch of fighting games on Unreal, right? So I hope that that means all of them like do the patch, because the Unreal change is not that new, right? It's like maybe 3 or 4 months ago, I think, that I heard about it.
Yeah, but it depends on when you started developing your game and everything.
Right.
Like, even for Dragon Ball FighterZ, I don't know if that's built on Unreal, but it might be. You know, and if it is built on Unreal, if they started building it after or before that patch came out, you know, then they would have still have to update that game as well. Okay. So, anyways, point is, shout outs to Tekken. The patch is great. If you guys haven't checked it out, or if you've thrown your PS4 aside, you can finally bring it back now. You know, it's useful again. It's useful again.
Oh, thank God.
Mine's still in the trash, dude. I'm playing on PC.
PC guy too.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people have questioned that. You know, they're like, does that mean the PC version is dead now? And, I mean, PC still has the better graphics. It still has the faster loading time. I think right now the loading time is still the worst on the Xbox version. So PS4 is like kind of the great middle road. You know, if we have a tournament, if the Tekken World Tour runs on PS4 next year, it's not a blow up. Whereas I felt like this year was a blow up to run on PS4. Just, you know, what's his name? JDCR was saying, you know, I'm not going to use Heihachi because there's fucking input lag. I'm just
we had different tier lists for the freaking from top players.
So it should be better next year. And of course, they've already announced that that's probably happening. So praise be. Moving on. Let's talk about Capcom Cup. Sajam, you were there.
Oh shit! All
right.
right.
Capcom Cup. This is the better news, right? For the Capcom side.
This year was so poetic, dude. Like every tournament, every major tournament was just like story mode finisher. You just fucking fought Devil Kazuya at the end. Like, crazy shit.
Like they wrote a script.
Yeah, every single one, bro. Oh my God.
It's like every tournament they wrote a script for what would happen. They'd be like, you know what would be crazy?
Yeah.
JDCR's down 0-2 and he switches to Heihachi, and then like they're writing all this shit. They made it all up before the tournament started.
Yeah, but Capcom Cup, it was great. I thought the tournament was great. I watched most of the top 8.
Yeah.
Tokido, he was the guy I was rooting for. Or Nemo. Fucking Nemo's run through last year's
Fucking
qualifiers.
Nemo.
Through the
That guy
tournament.
should have lost to Brian F. That shit was horrible.
I know, dude. I was
Brian F. should have beaten Nemo.
Wait,
and
I
if
didn't
he
see
had
it.
beaten Nemo, the future was... It's all Brian F.'s fault, man. That was the fork in the road. He had it, too. I mean, it's hard, right? Let's not forget how fucking hard it is to do shit like that, but he really had it. He had it. I was watching that.
What
as
happened?
soon as that happened, I was like, whatever. Fuck.
It was 3. He lost 3-2 to Nemo.
Yeah,
And
but he
winners
had
won the LCQ.
final round, right?
Yeah, it was
He
super
was down to
close.
Final round.
Damn, Brian F. I got a t-shirt that I got to send that guy. I found a Balrog t-shirt. I'm like, hey, are you large? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, I'm sending it your way. But yeah, fucking Nemo had a great run. I was hoping for a Nemo Tokido Grand Finals, but fucking Mena RD, man, blowing people up. Nemo got destroyed by him.
18 years old. He won a shit ton of money in the Dominican Republic. You know
Is he
that?
like a
Oh,
billionaire
yeah.
there now?
He's
or
a
what?
billionaire.
Yeah, did anybody do the
I did
exchange?
the math.
Oh,
So it's 12 million Dominican pesos. I'm serious. And I did the math on it. So I did the math and I looked up what like a Dominican Republic, like, like somebody who makes good money, like a white collar job.
Uh-huh.
And he has, that's like $100,000 a year salary in pesos or whatever, right?
What?
So he has 100 years of a white collar job's worth of money.
Holy crap.
He's rich forever.
Became the richest man there.
Damn.
He's rich forever, dude.
wow. That's
that is so cool. Congrats.
That's super cool. Yeah, I mean, and the shit online is just crazy, right? Like,
That's so cool, right? He won. Like, he's got money forever, right? It's
I
great.
can't believe it's that big of a difference.
it's the Dominican
That
Republic, man.
sucks, dude.
It
That
sucks.
sucks that that's the case. I
Yeah.
can't believe that it can be that big of a difference.
Yeah,
Like, what?
the world is a crazy place. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, it is.
Esports, dude. I mean,
18 years old.
It's kind of like he won. It's kind of like he won the Invitational for Dota 2. You know,
Yeah.
just because he's
Yeah.
from the
It's like
Dominican
$20 million
Republic.
in
Yeah.
USD.
It's like no problem. Just
At
Dominican money.
Capcom Cup, you always have to make sure someone from South America wins so the prize pool looks bigger. Just, Street Fighter player wins 12 million.
6 more zeros at the end of that. Beautiful.
Good
Perfect.
strategy.
God.
Hey,
Yes.
I was gonna mention something about this guy because I didn't get to watch day 2 at all, right? So it was only like what I heard. But when I found out that he won, and I knew who he was because I watched a few of his matches in the past, right? But when I heard who he was, right, and where he was from, and that he won Capcom Cup, right, I was thinking to myself, like, this is an incredible achievement because it's kind of reminded me of the Chris Moneymaker winning the World Series of Poker, where that caused this really good boom because a lot of people thought, well, this guy is kind of like a new guy that not a lot of people have heard of. Maybe he's kind of like a nobody, right? Where did he come from? And so even though that's not necessarily the case, the fact that he was able to take the cup, really I think will give a lot of people from a lot of different countries just the feeling that they can do it too.
Yeah,
Tokido
without
is supposed to be really untouchable.
And
Right.
I love that he did it with Birdie too.
And he did it with Birdie too, right?
Yeah.
It's not like, if you put everything together in the end and you think about it, if you're a big fan of Street Fighter V, you can't help but get that feeling that like, man, if I practice my ass off, I could do that too. It doesn't matter whether you're right, but that's the feeling you get, right? So all this stuff plus Arcade Edition could all be good news for Street Fighter,
Oh yeah,
Pretty
without
good.
a doubt. I mean, the thing is too, Men RD's like did you say 18 years old, Sajam?
18, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's
18
another-
years old. He's gonna bring in
Yeah.
so many people into the game.
Dude, he played Itabashi first in top 8. Itabashi is double his age. He's 36.
yeah, I
It's
mean,
crazy, right?
yeah, but like Aris said, I mean, it's just gonna be an inspiring story for all these people to come in, and so many people are not giving this guy credit. I've been commentating
Yeah.
him, since Street Fighter V originally launched.
On
just
the
in
online tournaments.
Exactly.
Dude,
Yeah.
I remember seeing him at SCR last year in 2016, and I was playing right next to him, like when I was playing Tekken, and he was playing like an off-stream, 3v3
Dude.
match. Like nobody even seen that, but I was like, dude, this guy's pretty good. And then next year he just wins the whole freaking Capcom
The
Cup.
craziest thing about that is that he posted a thread on R Kappa a year ago and was like, hey, R Kappa, I'm like this birdie player from the Dominican Republic. Like, here's some of my online matches. I'm pretty good. can I like represent your tag? Can I just put R Kappa in my name? Like, can you guys like send me a shirt or something? And they're like, I don't know who this kid is. Whatever. Like, I guess maybe we'll send you a tag. Just whatever, right? Like, they're like super whatever about it. And then a year later, he wins Capcom Cup. It's crazy.
But now aren't most of those guys saying like, whatever, that fool sucks. He shouldn't have won Capcom Cup. He's whatever. He got
Of
lucky.
course, you know how it is.
And what happened? So I saw something on Twitter, people calling you out for talking shit to players, and I saw that was also linked to Giuna and Mena or something.
No, that was about Giuna. The only people talking shit on me is Mike Elnon. He's trying to fight me in the parking lot. So you know he's.
What happened? What'd you do?
You know, if you make fun of Chris T, him and Chris T like have, you know, they have like a connection.
Yeah,
you know?
I know about that. I've heard
So
about that.
I have the same nose as them, and I think they wanted me to join their big crooked nose crew, and I wasn't trying to do it.
Shit.
And now it's like a controversy. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, that was a kamikaze nose joke.
Dude, it was wild.
Impressive. Took them down with you. Impressive.
Got him.
Yeah, all right.
I didn't want to join. I was like, look, I'm gonna fix my nose later, you know, eventually. And they're like, come on, man, you gotta stay with us for like.
Wait, are you actually gonna fix your nose?
Yeah,
Like
he's
a
got
plastic surgery?
augmentation?
No, I'm not gonna fix it.
Come on,
No
man.
way.
It's the future.
No,
dude.
that's like, you know, Jeremy is mad at infiltration. He was like, you were in the Bald Boys Club, and now you have hair, dude. Come
Let's
on.
not get started, dude. He's the biggest loss the BGC has ever fucking.
You see how nice his hair is?
It's fucking bullshit, dude. He is a mutinist. We don't even bring him up at the meetings anymore.
I
We
thought
don't
you were
even
gonna
have
call
him
him
so
up.
nice now.
It is. You know, this is how I realized too at Capcom Cup. This is the first time I saw him without a hat in a while. And he's like flaunting it, sitting in the front row,
Unbelievable.
getting in
Yeah,
gifts
dude,
and
it's
shit.
Wild. It's so nice.
It is.
That guy's going to bald guy hell.
Man.
I
Bald
was like,
guy
damn
hell.
it.
The-
You were talking so much shit about me going bald, Rip. You're like, one day you'll go bald. And I saw his hair. I was like, it doesn't even matter. I'll be fine.
Damn.
I'm not
Damn.
there.
It's because you started off Capcom Cup on the desk talking shit about Vicious and F-Word being bald. And some people called you out immediately. They're like, damn, man, this is karma. It's gonna hit him. It's gonna hit him so hard.
So the best part is that's what I said. I said that was like the baldest commentary duo of all time.
Nice.
On the desk later, when I introduced them in top 8 of Capcom Cup on the analyst desk, I said that the two gentlemen with me are as brilliant as they are bald.
Yep.
And the thing is, we did
Sounds right.
rehearsals, and I didn't say anything about it. And during rehearsals, they were strategizing, trying to come up with some shit to talk on me.
Oh,
So
nice.
You saw F-Word's eyes?
Got him.
Shit on them. So when it came live, I said that shit, and I could see F-Word just like,
Dude, his eyes.
That's fucked up because that was like you scouted intel. Like you were like, all right, these guys are gonna talk some shit. I'll come up with something even better. It'll blow them out. Oh yeah, all right, that was good.
Well,
I had to be.
Undercover. Bad
I have
guy.
to use them, so they can't talk before me. There was nothing they could do to
You're the
stop
host.
first.
Damn, that's cheating, man. Cheating. No, yeah, the best joke though is just like when you go bald and you do
It's
your
a
like your
turn-based
hand
strategy.
thing. Oh yeah, turn.
His turn-based system.
God. Now when Sajam goes bald on, he does this hand thing. He's just gonna be like a windshield wiper.
man.
It's gonna be great. That's gonna
You guys
be.
gotta step up your bald jokes.
It's gonna be great, dude. Windshield wiper with his hand motion. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. But Capcom Cup, they had the hugest announcement at the end, right? I think everyone was pretty shocked, right? Because everyone knew fucking Sakura was coming after we didn't know she was coming at the last reveal. But, you know, they have the reveal of Sakura and they show the silhouettes. And everyone's like, boo, not this shit again.
Yeah, not this shit again. 2 times and the third.
Right?
Fuck.
And then Ono's like, wait, you want more or some shit? And people were like, all right, fine. And he brought up 2 weird Blankas.
But
Exactly. I'm not sure what he said either. But he said some shit and he tried to be English with it. And then he showed us a new trailer. And the trailer was like, it looked like it was just like an intro at first. Like it just like was a CGI
It started
intro.
getting serious. Started getting real serious.
All of a sudden,
my
Blanca shows up alongside Sakura. And you're
Dude,
like, wait a
after
second,
Blanca
what
and
the fuck?
Sakura, and then it's like, oh shit, this shit just got real. Everybody just started coming out. I was like, are you serious? Blanca just got announced in this trailer. They're gonna show everybody, dude. I knew that as soon as they showed Blanca, they're gonna show everybody.
I didn't know that. I thought I saw Blanca and I was like, oh, they announced Blanca, not Sagan. Fucking bitches.
No, I'll tell you the best part about that announcement is that the microphone was near us, where I was standing. So when you're on the stream, when Cody first gets revealed,
You just hear the guy, oh my god.
you hear someone yell, "Holy shit, he looks so fucking sick!" That's Jeremy. He's yelling that shit from the crowd, right? And Jeremy's like losing his mind, so he's screaming into the mic, and you can hear him in the background. But on the topic of Ono, real quick, you reminded me that before Capcom Cup, there was a dinner that had all the players for Capcom Cup and Battle for the Stones and all the commentators. And Ono gave a little speech, right? Ono stood up and he said, "Hello, everyone." And then he said, like, fucking, I'm not honestly sure what he said. He said something about great matches this weekend, Capcom Cup. Okay, thank you very much. And he sat down. And then somebody back from the Marvel table was like, "I thought he was going to ask us to do the Shoryuken in here." And Ono stood back up and was like, "Shoryuken, everyone?" And we were like, "No, man, do a fucking Shoryuken in here." And so it was like super funny. And so every time I saw him that weekend, that's all I was thinking. That, and he called me Tom Cruise. He said I look like Tom Cruise in the dinner there. That's what Ono said about me.
You did kind of have like a wide Tom Cruise. Like you take one of those old VHSs and you kind of make them widescreen.
Yeah.
Different aspect
Kind of have a wide,
4:3.
wide Tom
21:9.
Cruise look. I never saw that before, but I see it now.
The 16:9.
21:9.
Ono's racism coming back around.
Yeah, Tom Cruise and Will Smith. That's the new Tasty Jam combo.
Oh my god.
Man, Tom Cruise and Will Smith, have they ever been in a movie?
I know, right?
I don't think they have.
Question.
Aren't they both like in like the same gang clan or something?
They should
Mission
be.
Impossible Independence Day.
What do you mean?
They're gonna combine the two movies.
They should definitely be in a movie together. I don't know how that hasn't happened yet. But yeah, of course, the characters revealed at
The
Capcom
characters
Cup.
are cool.
Yeah, Blanca, Falk, or however you say it, G,
Female Ed,
Uh-huh.
Abraham Lincoln.
Sakura, Cody, and Sagat. And
Yep.
what's up with Sagat getting the shit kicked out of him in his own reveal?
That's the lore, dude. Ryu
Yeah.
beats the shit out of
I
Sagat.
understand
That's
the
how
lore.
he
Leave that
uppercuts
for the
him.
game. Why is that going to be in his reveal?
I don't know. Did you see those Sagat jiggle physics?
Yeah, I was just
yeah.
gonna bring that up. That shit
My
looked
God.
so
Every
stupid,
ab
dude.
was jiggling.
That shit made it look
jiggle.
like all those muscles were like augmented
Hot
nose
dogs.
shit. Like, yeah, what are they?
Packs of
what are
hot
they?
dogs still in the plastic.
That's muscle
Oh, gross.
out of Jello.
Oh, God. Well, Sagat is last, too. If they're revealing them all in order.
Yeah.
And that's a big assumption, right? Some people have said, well, they're all in the intro. Maybe they'll all be available at launch.
That would
No.
be so cool.
That would be super.
No
That
way.
was wild.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Hey,
What would be
didn't
the
they
point?
remember that? Remember back in history, right? Think back. Didn't they do New World Warriors or whatever in Street Fighter 2, and they dropped that shit with all of them? Like, you could play as Fei Long and T-Hawk and Cammy, and they just all at the same time. Maybe they'll do that again, arcade edition.
They
Boom,
could.
they're all there.
I mean,
Didn't they do that in 4 as well?
When they dropped Super, they dropped like 7 characters or something.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Uh-huh.
They dropped
Oh, yeah.
hella characters.
Let's do that again.
we
That would
should,
be
right?
tight.
I mean, that's the thing, right? With Street Fighter V, they decided to go with the DLC model, and they slow rolled out the
Yeah.
characters. Season 2 is kind of whack because it's all new characters, right? I feel like
Yeah.
if they had interspersed some returning nostalgic
Like
characters
how they
in the
did
middle,
with this season. Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Sprinkle in between.
yeah, so exactly, right? But so now it's kind of this long wait. Of course, I've been asking for a relaunch of the title, with the new name since
Yeah.
season 1, but it's finally come. I think it's actually a good idea that they waited and they skipped the second season. Like they kind of survived that second season, and now it's back and it's everyone's got the focus again. Street Fighter V will be the focus of the FGC in 2018. I think that's what's going to happen. Right?
I think it was good that they had a bad year.
It was good that they had a bad
It
year.
was good that they had a couple of bad years because I think that exposed everybody to trying out new games. You know what I mean? I feel like this is the most everybody has wanted to play other fighting games
It's all
ever.
scripted, dude. I'm telling you, man.
So
they
now
scripted
that-
this too. They're in
I'm
bed.
happy that Capcom messed up and made people realize that other games are really good too. And then now they're like, here's Arcade Edition. This is going to be pretty good. So everybody's like, well, I like all these other games now. Now Arcade Edition might be pretty good. All right, I have a bunch of cool fighting games to play,
Yeah. Speaking of bad games, Battle of the Stones was also this past weekend at Capcom Cup. Sajam, you want to tell us a little bit about Battle of the Stones and how that went down?
So I'll tell you this. Battle of the Stones was the first day at Capcom Cup, right? I was posted on the LCQ stream all day. So I didn't see almost any of the Battle for the Stones at all. And I'm assuming most of the people in the venue didn't either, because they were all sitting right in front of me watching the LCQ. Wow. And I don't think they were watching whatever was happening on that other screen. So I honestly don't know what really happened, because I was commentating all day watching the LCQ, and I didn't pay any attention to Marvel.
Mike, did you watch any of it?
Yeah, Cloud won. It was sick. I saw like the top 4 or something.
I saw the grand finals. That's what I saw, because it was, there
a
in the
different day, right?
Yeah.
Weren't the grand finals like on Sunday and the main term was on like Friday or something?
All I was thinking about when they delayed the grand finals until Sunday was when like Street Fighter was at like Brooklyn Beatdown, which is a Counter-Strike event. So they delayed Street Fighter grand finals until Sunday. I was like, it's fucking Street Fighter Counter-Strike, and MVCI is like Street Fighter to them. They just don't give a shit about it. So like, whatever, put it on Sunday, I guess. Just give them the grand finals.
Did you watch any of it, Aris?
I watched LCQs. I didn't watch any of Marvel. Right. I watched a little bit, and I saw there wasn't a lot of people there, and
yeah, I didn't watch
whatever.
Oh, actually, I saw more of it. Actually, I saw like them implementing the stones in the tournament.
No, I didn't see any of that shit.
I could hear it, because in the venue, when someone used a stone, it was like it would activate on the fucking. Like a loudspeaker. So I'm like sitting there commentating. I'm like, oh, he gets to stand in front of a Space Stone. I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Dude, they had like banners, like GIF animations, like in the middle of like the tournament matches and stuff. Like Mind Stone activated for next round.
I saw that on the straight up overlay.
But okay, hold on. So I mean, obviously from like a tournament level, it's kind of whack. But was it entertaining?
Maybe. It was almost not that entertaining, because there was one with Ryan LV where they had to pick his characters for him, or like have button layout. Yeah, those were like the most ridiculous things, man. Like, what the hell? You might as well just hold forward. His face was just like.
I mean, there was some funny stuff with the stones, right? Because like Cloud had the Power Stone, which allows you to get the first hit. And he went for some super fancy hard combo, and he fucked it up and dropped it off his guaranteed combo at the start. And then he went down 0-2 because of it. And then Chris G, like he lost the first game, and then Chris G used his stone that made Cloud like, I get to choose your characters in stone. So he picked fucking 2 random characters. Like Cloud goes down 0-2 because he fucked up right at the start, and then he ended up beating Chris G. That was before the grand finals or whatever. I saw none of this, but I heard about it, and the only other funny one I know about was one of the other stones. Oh, fucking F Champ lost to Richard Wynn 3-3.
F Champ lost to Richard Wynn. No
3-3.
Kidding. What the hell does that mean?
The Soul Stone.
The
Soul Stone means that you take away a lot. So Richard Wynn won the set 3-3 because Champ got to remove a game.
That's the stone he got by going to Milan to win the 12-man tournament, right?
Yeah,
right.
It was an 8-man tournament, wasn't it?
What was it?
I thought it was an 8-man tournament.
Damn. He made top 8? Yeah. So that's the stone he won. Congrats to Richard Wynn. And yeah, that's such a blow-up, right? F-Champ.
Crazy.
The whole tournament in his favor, and then he doesn't get the W anyway.
Actually, I think he was at a disadvantage.
Why?
Because he was at home playing the new version all the whole time.
He's outdated?
And it ended up being on the old version.
Wow. Damn. That's rough. I guess that's...
What you guys don't realize is that F-Champ was actually a martyr. He was playing the new version so that he would be at a disadvantage at Capcom Cup when they played on the old version that everybody else was playing.
Look, I mean, at this point, who cares, right? Everyone knows that that whole situation's a blow-up. But, I mean... Specifically, what's the future of this now, right? Because Battle of the Stones, I heard viewer-wise did not do well. Mr. Wizard put out a tweet where he said some shit like, is this shit dying? There was like no views, 300 people are only playing it at a given time online, whatever. I mean, what's the future of Marvel? Like, is it even going to be at EVO?
That's the craziest thing, isn't it?
I don't think it necessarily deserves to be there just because it's Marvel. I feel like they've been doing that forever.
Right.
What the fuck is up with that?
They've been giving Marvel Sundays forever too, right? Despite it not having entrance or something, I feel like.
And always like second to the last game, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that it makes sense, right? Logically, history-wise, there's a huge connection between EVO and Marvel, and there always has been, right? But if it ever was not going to be on Sunday, I can't think of a better opportunity than this, right?
Yeah, I think I can agree with that.
I mean, there are so many other games that deserve it more, that have communities that really are more active and that have sold more. I mean, no matter how you slice it, there are games that deserve it more than Marvel Infinite, and that's how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't have the sales. I mean, it sucks obviously for any community when their game, for whatever reason, sucks, and then everyone's kind of shitting on it. Like, you know, King of Fighters is a good example, right? Like, King of Fighters wasn't going to be on Sunday this Evo. No way.
No.
Yeah, that's what happens, man. And so, obviously, it sucks.
And it had a sick finals, too.
Yeah, I mean, well, unfortunate, but that's
What do you mean it had a 6 finals? King of Fighters was at Evo this last year?
Yes. It was that Evo.
No shit. I thought it was like, get rid of it. Shit's ugly.
Yeah, the finals was really good, actually.
Yeah, I commentated a game at Evo, and I didn't know that King of Fighters was at Evo. That's hard to believe. Was Killer Instinct at Evo?
No.
Killer Instinct has... I mean, if you were to ask me, I'm pretty ignorant and a bigot when it comes to this, but I would say that Killer Instinct has a more passionate and, like, supportive community than the people who support KOF 14. From where I'm sitting. I don't know if that's true.
I think
Glad you're breaking it down.
I think they're a more vocal community.
Who?
Killer Instinct. Than King of Fighters.
I don't know. It just seems like Killer Instinct, we could not get rid of that fucking thing. We couldn't get rid of it. Are you telling me they have Killer Instinct at Evo again? It's just like 10 years old, you know? But KOF, I didn't even know it was there for the first, you know, Evo. So that's just the way I'm looking at it. Yeah. There have been many Evos where I was like, damn, this shit again for Killer Instinct. So their community must be pretty passionate if like they made that happen so many times.
Yeah, definitely passionate, definitely vocal. I feel like the issue with Killer Instinct's community was just it wasn't big enough. Like I felt like all the players who were in it, who went to Evo, all the voices here on Twitter. They're all there. So it's like all 340 of them or whatever who signed up for Evo every year. That's what it was, right? But meanwhile, KOF. I mean, what are the entrants for KOF last year? I assume it must have been like a ton, way more than KI got. I bet.
I think it was like 400 or 500, wasn't it?
That sounds like 50%
I don't think it was like
more than
super
KI.
high. Yeah, I think it was pretty similar. I don't think the entry numbers are that high. I don't remember though.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember either. I feel like KOF probably had more entrants, even though you don't hear anything from that community about like, yo, where's KOF at Evo, bitch? You know, like that's not the response you get out of that community. I feel like.
I mean, this is a simple Google away from.
Oh, are you doing it right now? Is that
it had 375 players.
Wow, that's some KI kind of shit. That's crazy.
Right.
For Evo, yeah. All right, I guess that makes sense.
Those are low numbers, real low.
So good chance that KOF does not make it back for Evo this year as well, right? I mean, I saw Wizard tweet out also that what are the 7 games you want to see at Evo this year? And it's like, is KOF going to make it? And there's so many games coming out this next year. Like I played that new shit, Fighting EX Layer. Did you try that shit? Any of you guys?
No.
That game feels like an old game. It's like hella jank, and there's it's crazy. It's pretty fun, but I don't know if I ever see people playing that in tournament, dude.
I started playing that shit, and I was like, I think we got to give Capcom some credit for Marvel.
Wow. I thought the game was fun. Are you serious?
Damn. That's brutal, dude. Damn. That hurt my feelings, and I didn't know I had to. And I talk shit about that game all the time. Damn.
Yeah. I mean, look, but at the end of the day, I did have fun with Fighting EX Layer. I actually did have a lot of fun. Once I learned the total bullshit, because that's the thing, that game is
it's a bullshit game. That's how you have to play it.
Yeah, and so once you learn the bullshit, it's really fun to be a scumbag in it, but...
I play so many bullshit. All the games I play are whack. So I fucking in that game I fit right in. I was like, this shit is whack. I'm ready for this.
Yeah, definitely. But so basically, Mr. Wizard came out and said some shit about Battle of the Stones. Chris G has a long rant you guys can check out. It's on RCAPA somewhere, I'm sure, with a long archive of all of his rants about Battle of the Stones. And they had bad scheduling because it's overlapped with the LCQ. There's also no announcement at all about a future Pro Tour for Marvel.
That's the craziest part, right?
Is it crazy? I don't know. Maybe it's the most sane part about it.
I expect there to be an announcement of some kind. The only positive news I can think of is that today Fox got purchased by Disney, right?
Oh, it finally happened.
So that means that X-Men will be likely not only in future X-Men, but in MVCI.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was...
If the game still gets updates.
Somebody told me that was only for like the movie side of things. I heard that never even applied to video game side of things.
What?
Yeah. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true. That's what I heard. So
if that's true, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Dude, do you guys really think that, I don't know, do you guys think that if in 6 months they release Wolverine and Magneto and Doctor Doom and your favorites. Let's say Gambit, whoever, your favorites, right? Rogue, your favorites.
Still not gonna save it.
Is that
Not
enough?
gonna save it. It's
Like,
not gonna
that
save
your
enough?
favorite.
No.
Is it gonna save it?
No.
Are
It's
we
gotta
like
look prettier.
you know how
gotta look
like that would be some resurrecting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if even fucking Magneto could do that shit. You know,
You
I don't
need
know if
someone-
he's
To get
time
a
traveler.
visual update.
Yeah, I think it's got. Dude, that'd be great. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite Resurrection. That'll be the title of it. It's a good title.
You know, I don't know. I don't even know if a visual update will matter because we've seen it many times. The beginning is the most important. The world sees your game the first time and it's over. People still haven't realized that Chun-Li's face is fixed
Yeah.
because
yeah,
of they
without a
saw
doubt.
it that first time and they still think it's jank, even though it's
Nightmare.
fixed.
Yeah.
The poor girl had her shit fixed, but people
Yeah.
don't realize it because that's what they remember, you know.
I love that in the AE trailer they focus on Chun's face for like a good 10 seconds. She's like putting on the lipstick. She's like, I look fucking sick. Ugh.
It's so good in this game. All my resources went to this side.
Yeah, I mean, I think, obviously Street Fighter V is kind of showing that there's hope for a game to be revitalized later because it had the shittiest launch too, right?
That's exactly what that trailer felt like to me for a while.
What
for
was the
Capcom. It's
Street
like,
Fighter
God,
5's launch as bad as Marvel's launch?
No, not at
No,
all.
right?
That's the problem. That's the
So
problem.
I think it started at a better place.
way better. Even despite it didn't even fucking launch for like 12 hours, right? Didn't Aris have like a 10-hour stream where he couldn't get into the server or some shit?
Yeah.
That was the launch of that game. And
Yeah,
now we're
it
here
was a
where
bad
everyone's hype
launch.
about it, right? So
Has Infinite in the title, but it's the shortest lived Marvel game. Like, what the hell?
damn.
It's crazy.
That'd be great if Infinite dies and they just release Marvel vs.
Marvel
Capcom
2.
4. It's just gonna go to 4.
HDR.
With all
Infinite
the
never
X-Men
happened.
and it looks amazing.
Wow.
That would
That's
be-
a crazy idea.
I'm down with
Fuck
that
it.
idea.
We blew that. Let's
Yeah.
scrap that. Marvel 4.
Marvel 4 with X-Men in
4.
it from launch. And it looks good. There you go.
That'd be awesome.
There's your idea, Capcom. There's your idea. You can do what you will with it. But let's move on. Let's move on from Marvel. Battletoads will blow up. Hopefully that game has something next year for their community, but it doesn't seem likely at this point. At least as far as the full tour goes, right? I think it'll still be at
No
tournament
way,
events.
really?
I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think that they're going to make it like a CPT, go to events, get your points for the entire year. I don't think that's happening for Marvel.
Well, they haven't announced it for Tekken either.
But,
That's true.
But they didn't announce it, but they said at the World Tour, Michael Murray and Horizon
I guess
on
they
stage,
did announce it.
They said like,
next
we want to
year.
do it again. Yeah, and said like, before next year, whatever, we'll have the
Yeah,
input
yeah.
lag reduction. So,
I think the
yeah.
only ones that are officially there is like Tekken and Street Fighter, right?
Right.
Like there hasn't been any news about an NRS tour, I don't think.
no,
No.
not yet.
No, I haven't heard anything.
That's very interesting because NRS, didn't Adam just come out today too? For anyone who has
Yeah,
like the,
that game sold the best for sure out of everything that's been out, right?
I
Yeah.
would imagine so.
It definitely
Yeah.
did. So that's where that's at. Adam, if you guys want to check him out, he's out as well. But the bigger news to me right now is from the Video Game Awards, right? Soulcalibur 6, or what is it even? It's called 6. It is called 6. That's the official title that they put on the end of the trailers. Soulcalibur 6 was revealed. They showed Mitsurugi? Mitsurugi? And he's all young. He's all young. So Aris,
Mitsurugi.
yeah, Mr. Riki. Aris, you're the expert. You tell us a little bit about just the reveal. And obviously, I know you put out a video on your channel, youtube.com/avoidingthepuddle, where there's basically like a 30-minute breakdown. There's like a gameplay trailer they released afterward.
Yeah.
Yeah, just good. I mean, it sounds like you're not too happy with the direction they're taking so far from what you've seen.
Well, you know, it's kind of hard to convey your feelings because there's so many feelings, right? I mean, for me, there's so much sentimental attachment for Soulcalibur, and the you know, you can't help but be excited, right? This is like something. The slogan of the game is "The soul still burns," you know, and it's like, damn, dude. I've been playing this shit since as early. It's my first competitive game, and I know Sajam, you've said many times there's a place in your heart for Injustice because it's your first competitive game. That's how I feel about Soulcalibur as well. So, you know, and I had a lot of my first time experiences in fighting games with that game. And yeah, I'm super excited about it happening, right? But you can't, I don't know, I can't really hold back my feelings about the things that I see that I don't like. And there's a bunch, right? And the stuff that I don't like just so happens to be exclusive to Soulcalibur 5. It's returning mechanics from Soulcalibur 5 that you know, at least in my opinion, but I also think in the opinion of many others, those mechanics were trash. Some of the worst mechanics that you could even, like, I can sit here and explain them to you, and I have done that, you know, but they're just so stupid, right?
Well, explain it to me, because I actually still don't remember. I played Soulcalibur 5 a little bit at the beginning. It didn't really jive with me. You know, like, my biggest issue is a little bit separate. We can talk about that separately, but what are the mechanics that you're specifically referring to that you think they maybe should not bring back?
Well, first, let me say that I think Soulcalibur 5 is by far the best Soulcalibur after 2. So it's leaps and bounds ahead of 3 and 4. But even with that being said, there's a few mechanics that I think are awful. One of which got added after the game was released. It got patched in. Okay. And this patch was the one that made people like JOP and Eddie Pistons and all that group of people drop the game. And what it did was it made it so that while you're moving around, when you get hit, you don't just get additional bonus damage for getting an 8-way run counter. You also get counter hit properties. Right. So if you're sidestepping and you get hit by a move that stuns, and another thing to remember here is that game had a multi-stun combo system, where if you got hit by one stun, the next move you do will also stun, and it allows for large combos. So this 8-way run counter ended up being very risky. And it's something that even if expert players later on were able to work around it and found the game to be just fine, it didn't really matter because by that point it was such a huge turnoff that tons of people dropped the game. Yeah. So that's one mechanic that seems to have returned. Right?
Counter hit properties on 8-way run.
8-way run. Really, it's restrictive. It doesn't allow a player to play that they want to, the way they want to play. It's restricted, right?
Just the idea of that in my head when I hear it is like...
Sounds too scary to move.
It does, but also just, you know, 8-way run is such a feature of Soulcalibur, I feel like.
Yeah,
it's
huge.
It's like this is what you play Soulcalibur for over Tekken. Like, it's got a different kind of movement system.
Precisely.
So to not have that seems like, or to be so risky with that seems like a strange choice.
Precisely. So the other two things that I specifically, that seem to be back, but I don't like, one of which is, okay, the meter is back, which already I don't like, right? But if it has to be back, they've implemented these mechanics where at the final round, it seems as though either you give your opponent meter or at the final round you both get meter, but it definitely seems like if somebody goes down 2 rounds to 0, like if Rip, you're playing me, if you beat me 2 rounds to 0, I get rewarded with meter for losing that. So
I remember that.
Yeah, and that's a mechanic that I think is unnecessary. You know, it's not necessary, but that's not the worst one, right? That one is not that big of a deal, really, in the end. The awful one is the reverse rage in the game. And this mechanic is at the end of the life bar. If you think about Tekken 6's rage system, it gave you bonus damage, right? So when you were almost dead, you had extra damage. This is the opposite. It's kind of like the blue tear stone ring in Dark Souls, where when you're almost dead, you then get this new additional defensive bonus property. And what that does is, if you are hit by a move that does less than 20 damage, that move does half its damage.
What the fuck?
So what does that do? It basically penalizes your opponent for trying to kill you with pokes. So to kill, you have to take a bigger risk. So this is like this warped comeback mechanic that allows the defender to know they'll survive 5 pokes, but only one, you know, big hit. It's really like, so stupid, dude. It's
that
like
really
awful. I hate that. And, you know, some people get butthurt that I hate that, but it's not my fault, you know. I don't like it, and I have a following. Sorry, you know, eat a dick, bitch. What do you want me to do? Sorry.
I mean, you know, when I think about that, I'm like, why would they even put that kind of a system in? And I think that is 100% something that's just for casuals, right? They want it to seem like when you're about to kill someone, like, oh, I'm still alive, I can keep fighting. They just want to give you that feeling when you don't know what the hell's happening. But like at a competitive level, when you understand the system, when you understand it's for pokes to be minimized and the big hits will kill, like, then it just seems dumb. Right, so I don't know.
It sounds much worse than regular rage, right? Because
it's
if you're
definitely less exciting, right?
Yeah, because when you're in rage, you have big hits. Like, you're scared of your opponent when they're in rage because you know they can do big hits, but you can still do safe pokes to close them out, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the reverse.
That's exactly what we call it, reverse rage. It's like you have to, it's so peculiar from a strategic standpoint, you almost have to treat it like, you picked up a skull in Bomberman. Like your controls are reversed. Because, like for all these years, for 100 years, at the end of a round, you don't take a big risk. You're about to
you play
kill
nice
him.
and safe.
The smallest risks. You don't need to do anything big. So it's like you really have to unlearn this basic strategy every time. And I mean, obviously you can get used to it, but I just don't think it's necessary. I don't see it as, it's unnecessary. And
what's
it's not
the benefit,
hype.
really? Yeah,
it's not hype, dude. It's like the opposite of hype. Like if you look at Tekken 7, it's the emphasis is on the end of the round. The rage gives you rage drive and supers, and we got slow-mos, and it's crazy. The end of Soulcalibur 6 is gonna be fucking rock'em sock'em robots. 5 low pokes, 6 low pokes. So stupid.
It sounds like the anime trope, the plot armor. I can't die. Fuck it.
I'm not into
That's
it.
what it sounds like.
It sounds pretty whack. Like you mentioned, I think you explained it pretty well. It seems like it doesn't really add a whole lot in terms of, excitement to the game when you're watching an end of round situation. I think the only person that actually benefits is, like I said, casual players who don't understand why they're still alive. Like, damn, he hit you with 3 pokes, I'm still alive, let's go. Like that's it.
Yeah, but that would piss off casuals.
Another thing that I think I want to focus on isn't just those specific mechanics, right? But the total package of Soulcalibur 6, they brought back a lot of the mechanics from 5, and that's just one other observation. Okay. They just brought back so many of the ideas and concepts from 5, when 5 itself brought a lot of new concepts to the table. So in many ways, I almost at this point appreciate Soulcalibur 5 a little bit more for its innovative and new concepts, and it almost makes me feel like Soulcalibur 6 is lacking in innovation because it's really regurgitating. Though I don't love those mechanics, it's regurgitating them, and it's like, where's the innovation? We waited a long time.
I saw.
It seems like.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Mike.
sorry. It seems like, I don't know, in Soulcalibur 6, it seems like they just added more of the standard fighting game tropes, give everybody a V-trigger, give everybody a max mode, or I don't know if that's what they are, but it looks like the weapons have like elemental, like electricity or wind on it, even. Like, I don't even know what the hell's going on anymore in that game.
You're just an ignorant bigot, dude. They added, okay, before there was a soul charge, right? Now they changed what a soul charge is. So now a soul charge is like an activation that has some kind of get off of me freeze attack. And once it starts, you get like auto blocking and you get like access to new shit. It's like a V trigger, right? So that's the soul charge, and it takes 1 bar. And then there's also critical edge, which is another like rock paper scissors type of a meter usage thing. So and all that effect stuff. That's been there for a couple of games, too. I mean, there was always, like, ice and supers, and that was in the last game. You're just, like, you forgot.
Yeah, I've only tinkered around with 4 and 5, so I don't really know too much.
Yeah, so what about this, Aris? There's a tweet that came up from Bandai. Sorry, chat, the video played audio and it was super fucking loud for a second, but I tried to mute as fast as I could.
I didn't hear.
Yeah, I know. You guys didn't hear it, so I didn't want to interrupt you guys, but... There's a brand new fighting mechanic, including reversal edge. This technique gives the player the opportunity to read an opponent's attack and land a powerful counter. Is that a new mechanic or old mechanic? Because it says brand new fighting mechanic.
Reversal edge doesn't sound like something familiar to me. I think it's one of the few brand new mechanics in this game.
Yeah, so I think they're trying to bring something new at least. But I think more interesting, Harada mentioned when he went out to start Soulcalibur 6 that he's trying to find a producer, and he basically had to tell him like, hey man, if no one's going to be the producer for this shit, then Soulcalibur's just going to die. And then whoever the new producer guy says, like, fine, I'll do it, basically. So I think that's probably why you're seeing a lot of regurgitation and maybe less innovation, right?
Yeah, could be.
I don't know. That's my 2 cents. But yeah, hopefully...
if you're right about that, right, then what you're saying is that we should be, like, lucky that we're even getting one at all, basically. Right? That sounds like what you're saying, right? You should feel lucky that you're even getting one at all. So if that's what you're saying, does that also mean that I should lower my standard to which I hold fighting games acceptable? I don't know if that's the kind of lucky I should feel.
Right. What I do feel is, though, I feel like you should take this opportunity to try to get people together. Like, I mean, you have a big following, like you mentioned, and just get people to kind of direct this new producer to create the game that you guys want to see. Because right now, Soulcalibur 6 doesn't have a release date. They said 2018, but there's no way it's coming out early because they got Dragon Ball.
They said 70%.
They said 70%? That's 30% you can still change. That's beautiful. That's
they
beautiful.
Officially said the game is about 70% complete.
That's probably reused assets. I don't know. But anyway.
It's a crazy number to me. I would have guessed under 50% easy. But with that number, 70%, it makes me feel like a June release date is not out of the question. And that would be in time for EVO.
That's I don't know what to
I'm
think
also
about
kind of surprised at the way the game looks.
In terms of good or bad, or?
No, I mean, I just think it doesn't look as good as Tekken. I don't know if it's just
I agree.
me. Yeah, I think Tekken looks better than Soulcalibur, but maybe I was thinking about it, and I remember when Tekken was coming out, I feel like it didn't look that good when we first saw it either. And maybe it looked better after time. Because I was thinking about, remember when the PS4 version was coming out? Everybody was like, oh my god, that looks disgusting.
True.
No, you're right. Yeah,
and then it ended up looking way better. So I'm hoping that it's one of those situations. Because I think that Tekken looks amazing. I think it's probably the best looking fighting game, right? So like, it's kind of strange that it doesn't look as good as Tekken.
I think because Soulcalibur just has a different art style, first of all. They have like those big googly anime eyes and everything, the big assets and, stuff like that. So.
Big assets.
I was thinking, I feel like the last Soulcalibur game that came, maybe it was 5 or maybe before that, but I feel like a lot of people said that Soulcalibur looked like the best fighting game and not Tekken, right? So it just might be the art style thing. Who knows? I mean, they still have obviously a lot of time to fix how it looks and improve the way it looks. Tekken obviously got improved the longer that it was in development as well. So like I said, I don't know that it's coming out in June. Like I feel like it's possible that it could come out in June, but do I want it to come out in June? Do I want it to make it to EVO next year?
I thought they said early 2018. Did they not? Or is that?
No, that's what everyone said.
Yeah,
it's just 2018.
Just 2018. And I mean, June. Do you guys want to see it at EVO? Like, is it that important, or should they push it back to fall and just make it for the next EVO?
Thank you for the next one.
Well, okay. Look, this is one of those things where I want the game to be good, and I happen to think that this is like such a great opportunity because Tekken, in many people's eyes, is like a really great game right now, right? Mm-hmm. And all the other games, in many people's eyes, are either too poverty to give a shit about or they're trash right now, in many people's eyes. So this is a really great opportunity to ride that like wave. Not to mention Tekken being 3D and there being no 3D competition anywhere. The fucking seas are clear, right? So I really feel like for Soulcalibur, this is like this huge, giant opportunity, and it's so easy for them to fuck it up. Yeah. So I'm being really hard on them because Tekken has created this perfect red carpet for its little brother Soulcalibur to just be also a huge big deal. And I'm trying to be hard on the game because I don't want them to drop the ball here. The opportunity is too big, so they really need to try and make it something that people like and not necessarily Soulcalibur players. Because there really aren't many of those anyway. Yeah. They have to make it something that everyone likes.
Yeah, I
the
think
way Tekken has done a good job of doing.
Yeah, for sure.
I think with Soulcalibur, the problem is, like, I don't think EVO should be the one tournament that validates the life of a fighting game, like, first of all. I mean, like, I get it, EVO's the biggest one of the year, but I think Soulcalibur should take its time. Don't do it like Tekken this year, release it a month before EVO, and it's like, say, fuck it, go play it in EVO, have a great year, and then we'll think about a tour, blah, blah, blah. Let's just work on the game first. Let's think about the game. Let's not have EVO be the stamp mark saying, like, this game is legit, Just like, and also, too, I think with Soulcalibur, the problem was with the older games for me personally, it's like some of the characters and some of the stuff, like Aris was saying, make it more friendly to other people and get more people in. You want to bring other new people in, not just Soulcalibur players. My problem with the game, honestly, was like the just frames and stuff. That shit was like, I wanted to play Alpha Patroclus, but I'm not going to play Alpha Patroclus, so I can't do half the shit that he can.
I think it's interesting because Bandai Namco is in a really good but dangerous position, like you mentioned, because they're in a place right now where, like you said, everybody loves Tekken, And Tekken is like this game where everybody's like, man, Tekken is fucking sick. And I mentioned this on Twitter, but they have Dragon Ball coming out in February, and then they have Soulcalibur with an unreleased. January? Is it January? I thought it was February.
26th,
January?
28th, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, whatever. It comes out pretty soon, and they have the release date not announced yet for Soulcalibur. It comes out next year, and it's like they're in a really interesting position where if they kill it with Dragon Ball and then kill it with Soulcalibur, and then Tekken continues to get love and support throughout the year, like Bandai Namco is undoubtedly the top dog, and they're killing it, and it's up to every other company to like sort of step up and rise to what Bandai Namco is putting out, right? It's like, look, they're putting out super sick 2D fucking fighting games with 3v3 and all this stuff. They have 2 super sick 3D games. Next year they're gonna make another 2D fucking Naruto, One Piece, whatever it is, right? Like if they're killing it, then everybody else is gonna be like, fuck. Bandai Namco is the gold standard, so we as another fighting game company have to step up and try to do as good as Bandai Namco. And that's as long as they don't fuck up Dragon Ball and Soulcalibur.
And another timeline potentially, right, in the future is that what if Arcade Edition sucks, right? And what if everything continues similarly to the way it is, right? So if that is the future, then that opportunity that I was talking about for Namco, the one you touched on with Dragon Ball, it becomes such a huge opportunity that it really even makes me even more concerned that if there's going to be one game that's the ugly duckling, it'll be Soulcalibur 6 out of those 3. So I really want this game. It's a big opportunity. I really want it to be something that everyone can enjoy. And I say not just Soulcalibur players, because that is an endangered species. If you want to appeal to an endangered species, what are you doing, right? So, it's a huge opportunity. I'm really hopeful. It's like so close you can taste it. That makes you worried. You don't even want to taste it.
Exactly why I don't want it to be released in June. Like when you said 70%, that surprised me. And
surprised me too.
And all the games that have really failed have been the ones that have been rushed out. Like Street Fighter V's launch was so fast because they wanted CPT for it, right? And then they had Marvel getting rushed out. I don't know why that was rushed out, but it looks rushed as fuck out. I don't know if it actually was rushed out, but it looks super rushed out.
Hell yeah, dude.
Right. And so, anyway, finish the product, make it good, and then release it. Don't try to just make the Evo deadline unless there's some kind of like, we want to do a half-year tour before the end of the year so that we can have a Namco World Tour including Soulcalibur and Tekken and Dragon Ball.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking too, right? When Sajam was talking about his segment, I was like, dude, maybe they're aiming for a Namco Cup
triple
in 2019. Threat. Yeah, the Namco Cup,
Namcon at the end of the year.
Oh, shit.
Damn, Bandai Namcon? Yeah, I guess.
I think that I agree with you on the game coming out later by, in terms of it being polished and complete, but I don't know. I think you guys are underestimating the power and importance of Evo. And I think that if Soulcalibur 6 has a really, the best chance for it to be at Evo is if it comes out a couple months before Evo. It'll be so hot off the presses that it almost won't have time to show it sucks for Evo to not have it in. But if it comes out late next year, there will be plenty of time for it to lose steam, and then it'll give other games plenty of time to, Evo will be like, oh, who's going to make it in? But I doubt that would be the case if that shit was hot. And last year, Tekken was popping, and Namco's,
I think it really depends on the storylines, too, at EVO. If the tournament sucks and the grand finals is just bob, down one, down one. It's like...
The game's not even out yet, right? I'm just talking about it getting
I think Aris is right.
I think you're right.
This is for a Soulcalibur game, it's not immune to being ignored by Evo. Let's not forget Soulcalibur 3 never even made it there. So it's not like they're going to guaranteed let Soulcalibur in. It needs to be super tight and hot.
We had the conversation earlier about Marvel, right? If Marvel came out, right before Evo, if Marvel Infinite and no one knew how, we knew it looked whack, but if we didn't know it played whack or anything, right? Then it might have just been an Evo immediately, right? And there was no way around it.
Right. Almost without.
Now we're just like, man, is Marvel gonna be at Evo? And a year from now, we could be like, is Soulcalibur 6 even gonna make it to Evo? This Link DLC character shit is whack. Fuck Soulcalibur.
It'll just have too much time to lose steam, I think. So
My concern with Evo this year coming up is that there's so many new games that might get a shot at getting in there. Like this Fighting EX Larry game. Like
no way.
Nah.
You guys, I don't know. I really don't know.
No way, dude.
And then what
There's
about-
no way that makes the set.
What about
0%
Blaze Blue Tag Assault Cross Battle, whatever that thing's called?
Unlikely.
Unlikely
Yeah, I'm
too.
not sure. I really hope that if it is there, it doesn't take the place of Guilty Gear.
Yeah, me too.
Because that community is putting
Right,
up 1,000
but that's-
entrants at Evo and shit, and
That's
it's
what I'm
like,
saying. So in that situation where like, what if people do want to play that Blaze Blue game? Are they gonna keep Guilty Gear as well? Because then that's 2 games, right?
Yeah.
And then what space they have? Because they're gonna put Dragon Ball in, right? If they can, and then the list gets shorter and shorter. And then like, so we're gonna throw in Soul Calibur there too? Like that? I think this year is a questionable year because there's so many releases in the first half of it already.
I don't think that it's that questionable. I think that, like, okay, if we are going to shoe in Tekken and Street Fighter, and we're going to shoe in at least one Smash game, right? So that's 3 out of 7, right? And, if there's going to be, think about it. It's easy to fill that. It's easy to fill that, to me.
It's easy to fill that without Soul Calibur to me, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I think that without Soul Calibur?
Yeah.
I don't think it's easy to fill that. It's like with Soul Calibur, that's it's gonna be easy to do, man. What do you think? Soul Calibur's not gonna make it in if it comes out in June?
yeah, I don't know. It's
I
crazy.
don't know.
There's no way it's only 7
I think
games.
any
also,
other
right?
year, I think any other year, it would have been in no problem. I feel like, but this year there's just so much stuff happening. It's like, how much risk can they take on new games when they have established other games? Like, I feel like if you have 4 new risky games, let's say 3 new risky games coming out before.
Yeah, I don't think Dragon Ball's a risk.
No.
Okay.
I just think people will sign up.
Well, I'm
no
saying,
matter.
okay, I'm saying Blaze Blue Cross Battle, Fighting EX Layer, and Soul Calibur 6. You have 3 of those, right? And you've got all these other established games. Does Marvel get in over all 3 of those unreleased games? I think it does.
No.
I don't know. I feel like,
I know.
you can't reject a game that's not out. Based on something that you know will at least get something.
I think of those games you mentioned,
Yeah.
the ones that are unreleased, you said Fighting EX Layer, Blaze Blue, and Soul Calibur, right?
Right.
Of those 3, that's that's Soul Calibur clearly.
Soul
to
Calibur wins
me.
that free to me.
Yeah, so free.
I think so.
And
Yep.
if you're comparing Soul Calibur unreleased to Marvel Infinite release, if you're gonna do that, if that's the way it's gonna be, then I don't really even want to fuck with Soul Calibur. Because if it's gonna be like that, I don't need Aris making fun of my favorite game, hurting my feelings. So I hope not. I hope that's not the future.
Yeah,
because
Yeah, I mean, whatever they decide, obviously we don't have control over, but hopefully the game comes out.
Yeah,
in a
given
good
how many
polished
good
state.
fighting games there are, this feels like the year where Evo needs way more games instead of way less.
Yeah, they
Right.
should bump the number up to like 12 or 15.
They've got a whole convention
Breaker
center.
run 25 games.
I mean, man, if any time to bump up Evo's games, it would be this year, right? There's just so
Right.
many games that'll be out. It's kind of the golden age again of fighting games, right? In terms of the number,
Like, when has
variety.
Namco ever had like possibly 3 games at an Evo before? That should
that would be
right now.
cool.
Yeah,
That would
Yeah.
be cool.
Right. So, anyways,
Wait, they did though, didn't they? Tekken 4, Tekken Tag 1, and Soul Calibur 2.
Yeah, there you go. They
Long
did.
time.
It's been a long
Yeah.
time. It's been
Yeah.
over a
2003,
decade.
I think.
Before my time, for sure.
Way before. All right. So the last thing I want to let you guys know. Wait, is there anything else we want to touch on Soul Calibur before I wrap this up?
Nothing. I hope it's good.
Story mode, they look younger. I don't know.
I mean, look.
Reboot, I don't know.
Oh,
So, look,
yeah.
a couple of things that bother me, I'll just mention really quick. Soul Calibur, series to series, they keep on changing the damn notations of the characters. Let me learn a character once and not change the fucking notation of it between every game. Like, that drives me
Come
crazy.
on, man.
Dog,
It drives
it's
me
crazy.
crazy too.
Yeah.
But whatever, man. Just learn the new shit.
That's all I always do. But it's taking
Yeah.
away time that I could be learning how to defend against all the other characters by learning my own
I
character.
agree.
again.
I don't know what the logic is half the time when they move the move list around, but
Yeah.
it looks like at least Mitsurugi looks like he has both his stances, and it looks like they're taking a step back in their design. So I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah, there are probably new notations for both those stances as well, I'm sure.
Probably.
But
Jeez.
anyways, it's just that's one of the biggest gripes I have with the series. Mike mentioned story mode. I gotta say the story mode in 5 sucked ass. I tried playing it. I like story modes in games, but that one, man, it was just like fucking. You see like paper unfold. You see some like bullshit animations and some text across the screen. That's not a story mode. If you're gonna do that, don't do story mode. Do some other shit. Put bowling in. I don't know. It's just.
Oh, God.
it's better than that story mode was. Yeah. So, anyways, that's all I gotta say about Soulcalibur. I hope the game turns out good. Lastly, I really do hope Soulcalibur does well. Lastly, before we wrap things up here, I want to show you guys this. The Tekken, what's the thing called? What's that show called? The Tekken something?
Hey,
Tekken
you're
Talk?
on this, right?
Yeah, I'm on this.
Weird.
Yeah, Tekken Talk. We're going to do one more for the end of the year. It's going to be this coming Monday. If you guys want to vote, I'm going to put the link in the chat. The link is in the chat now. You guys can go vote. Basically, it's like your favorite match of the year, your favorite player of the year, your favorite esports team of the year, that sort of deal. It's about 5 or 6 questions. Go cast your vote. On Monday, it looks like at 5 p.m. Pacific. Is that what it is? Yeah, Monday. No, I think it's Monday 4 p.m. Pacific. 5 p.m. is when the deadline for the voting ends on the 15th, which is tomorrow. But on Monday, they'll be streaming it on the Tekken channel at 4 p.m. So make sure you guys check that out and put your votes in.
Where are you going to do that?
I'm going to Bandai Namco headquarters in Northern California.
Whoa, cool.
Yeah.
Going to NorCal, huh?
Going to NorCal. I'm gonna go. I've never been there. I've never been to their office, so that'll be interesting.
Neat.
Yeah, very neat. Me and Markman will be there, and I guess we're just gonna talk through these awards. And
are you guys gonna reveal Lei?
Whoa. Oh, some shit going on.
Did he say anything?
So
He's muted.
that's happening on Monday, and then
What?
no, of
What's
course
going
not.
on?
Look, it's so stupid. No, I'm
He's
sorry.
baiting us to watch.
Elevating.
He's baiting us to watch that trash.
I don't know what you guys are talking
Now I
about.
gotta watch that shit. I gotta watch Rip talk about some fucking awards for an hour. Or
Are you
whatever.
gonna restream it?
Am I?
Oh yeah, I have
Tekken Talk?
permission. Hey, when is it again?
There's no lay reveal. There's no lay reveal.
When
It's
is-
at
when is it?
it's at 4 p.m. on Monday. 4
Okay,
p.m. on Monday.
I'll try and be there.
All right, so that's what's happening. Yeah, let's wrap things up now. Where can everyone follow you guys? We'll start with Sajam.
Twitter, Sajam, Sajam. YouTube, Superman Sajam. Discord, Hoop Squad. That's all the social. Twitch, Sajam. I've been streaming Capcom Cup match analysis. I got 10 matches done today, and I think
Damn.
total there's like 70.
You're on your way there.
I'm gonna
So
watch
many
every match
good
of Capcom Cup on stream back, and that's what I'm gonna be doing the next like 2 to 3 days. So tune in.
All right, MYK.
You can follow me at the name is MYK on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube.
Easy. Aris.
Hey, everybody, follow my YouTube. No Pants works really hard on it, and he's done a great job. Follow my YouTube. Avoiding the Puddle.
There you go. YouTube.com/avoiding the puddle. Of course, you guys know this channel, Level Up Your Game. You guys, make sure you guys follow it. We do the BOOMcast. We try to do it every other Thursday at 9 p.m. but
BOOMcast.
Yeah, exactly. Every other Thursday. It's going to fit real good with that title when Soulcalibur comes out. But yeah,
Real good.
Every other Thursday, 9 p.m. And my Twitter, REEPL.
Real good.
Real good. Lastly, Left Behinds. Who
Oh,
are we
Jesus.
leaving behind this week?
Oh,
Mike.
man, I'll just go first. I don't really have too much of a crazy one, but I'll just say, yeah, left behind those 2 frames of input lag in Tekken 7.
Oh,
I'm pretty happy.
Damn, that's pretty good.
pretty
That's
good.
a good one.
Yeah, Aris,
Yeah.
do you have one?
Me?
Yeah, you. Do you have one?
I want to leave those fucking Soulcalibur 5 mechanics behind. I want to leave that shit in the trash.
It sounds like a good place for him.
Yeah, that's mine. All the Soulcalibur 5 mechanics. We can keep the meter. Reverse rage, specifically. Get rid of it.
Yeah, come up with something else, I think.
That's
Something
not
else-
good enough?
No, I'm saying, not you.
He's talking
I
about
meant the
mechanics.
Soulcalibur developers.
Oh. Yeah, I was like, damn, I can't leave that behind? That's not good enough? Fuck. I want to leave that behind.
Bad cop,
Oh,
that ass.
God.
Yeah,
Bad
definitely. I'm bad copying. I'm accusing. I have evidence.
He's got evidence.
Using that shit.
Oh,
So yeah,
God.
I'm leaving that behind.
All right.
Reverse rage specifically. Leaving
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I'll leave behind FedEx for fucking not delivering my desk for so long. You know, I wouldn't have cared. It was like a Black Friday deal, and so it got shipped, and I didn't expect to get it. I knew they were all backlogged, you know, UPS and FedEx and everything. But the fact that they blamed me twice for it was just like unbelievable. They were like, customer not available. Like, bitch, I've been waiting here 12 hours, so fuck you, right? And then the next day, I don't remember what they did, but they pulled some shit where they said it would come and then they didn't again. They said it was my fault again. So I was like, All right, whatever. Oh yeah, they said they delivered it. They said they delivered it, and except I wasn't there. I was like,
why do you have so many problems with every week gets a new fucking company? There's always some shit.
Look, man, I'm just unlucky recently. Recently unlucky.
All the time.
Yeah, it's been years, dude.
Years.
AT&T,
like
Time
4
Warner.
years, yeah.
Every
You know
week,
what,
Rip's manning a new company.
Hey, I'm realizing that a lot of these problems you're having have to do with you calling in, right? And let me tell you something. In situations like that, I promise you, you should be extremely kind. I mean, so kind that you want the other person to hear you smile. You know how when someone's smiling hard, you can hear the spit smacking at the corner of their mouth? You need to get that other guy to hear your smile, because that guy, I mean, on the inside, they're putting a gun in their mouth. They hate that job because it's a hard fucking job, dude.
Right.
And you're probably,
He's
dude,
a
have you
shithead for
ever heard
sure.
yourself talk?
yeah, I listen to myself all the time.
Well, let me break the news to you. If I was a fucking FedEx employee on the phone, I would not be having a good call. You know,
I am pleased to hear that. Because here's the deal, all right? Here's the deal.
He's
Me
pleased
calling-
to hear that.
Me calling them, here's why I disagree. Because me calling them wasn't the issue. I called them because I had the issue in the first place. Me calling them didn't give me an issue. I had an issue, which is why I called them.
I feel like all
You're
the people
missing
that
the
work
point.
there.
but you
That's
call
all they
Saying that
deal
you
with
need to be
anyways.
nice when you call them.
So
Yeah,
you'd
I
be the
got
one
that.
nice guy in the day from all the phone calls from all the assholes during the day, instead of being the 50th asshole.
There, okay, you wouldn't be leaving them behind if you called them because you had an issue, and then they answered the phone, and you were like, super kind, and they solved your issue. You would have forgotten that.
Well,
You
here's
would have
what
never
happened.
even thought
No,
about that again.
Dude, so I
But-
called them. I was super kind. I was. I
Okay,
promise.
fuck
No,
out
you
of
were
here.
not.
I
I don't
promise.
believe it.
Already too
Hold on.
many times.
Hold on. The first.
I have too many experiences
The first-
with you and customer service to
Yeah,
believe
man,
that.
it's obviously you, man. It's obviously you.
Look, man.
You need to let me call them for you.
You also speak really fast. It's
I
not even
speak
just
so
about
slow
being
with them.
kind.
I speak so slow with them.
Okay, but if you look, dude, if you speak that way to me, it's gonna make me feel like you think I'm a retard. Why are you speaking so slow? You know, you think
Cause your
listen,
company
bro,
sucks and you keep blaming me for this shit, man. Fuck you, FedEx. Sajam, leave some shit behind.
He's speaking so slow, man.
Dude, alright, I've hung out with Rip when he's done too many customer service things. He is the worst. Remember, like, that lady was trying to take your bag or whatever at the airport, and you're like, this bitch right here is fucking...
Damn, the true Hollywood stories? Rick.
Angry. Remember when they ask you, they say, like, hey, do you have any, like, lithium batteries or bombs in your bag? And you're like, no, I don't have anything. This lady goes, hey, do you have any? He goes, no. And he just turns and walks away. Do that to somebody? She didn't even finish the question.
Cause she was speaking slow like I was retarded. You know the feeling,
Slow.
Aris. You know the feeling.
Speaking slow.
Oh, man.
Go on.
you honestly, you really the reality of the situation is the problem is within. You have to look within. You can solve it.
He says, "I'm done with
Look,
this."
bro. If they didn't have problems, I wouldn't have to call them.
Yeah, but it's your attitude. It's so aggressive. You know, just relax, and it won't happen again.
Sajam, leave something
My
behind.
left behind calling is you. You're left behind by all these companies for having a shitty attitude.